To build better relationships, finance business partners need to show empathy. When my son was recently hospitalised, I learned a little trick on how to do this better. Let me tell you about it. Hi folks, Alan Cameron-Sweeney here with another tip on how to be a better finance business partner. So about 2 months ago, my son Leopold, who's 2, was hospitalised again. Nothing new in our house. He needed some help with his oxygen for a week because he had a virus. Anyway, in the emergency when I brought him in, they gave him some medication through an IV in his hand. And when we went up to the ward where he usually stays, they said, right, we're not going to give him any more medication because the tests came back and he doesn't have the virus that we thought he had. I was like, grand. So I stayed with him in the room overnight. The next morning I woke up and the drip going into his IV, it was running something to it. So I thought there was no more medication, so I asked the nurse. I said, oh, I thought there was no more medication, so what's going through his IV? And then what I essentially heard her say was this: blah, 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 blah. I didn't understand anything she said to me. So I said, sorry, I don't understand what's going through the IV. And again, I heard blah, 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 blah. She was just giving me medical speak and I was a bit lost. So I said to myself, I'll just wait until the nurses change over at 8 a.m. And then I actually did. And the next nurse who came on, I asked her what was going through his IV. And she said, oh, it was basically just water to clean it out and keep it open. I was like, that was pretty simple. But later on when I was having a coffee, it struck me, this must be how non-finance people feel when we start talking about margins and EBIT and NPAT. It's a whole load of blah, 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 because it's not their language. So how can we have more empathy to help people understand? Well, people often say, oh, put yourself in their shoes. But what's the point of that? Putting ourselves in their shoes, we don't really know how they don't know about finance acronyms because it's just such old knowledge to us. It's just part of our DNA now. As a finance business partner, when you communicate some financial terms or something complex to your stakeholders, how about when you finish, you ask them, does that make sense? And that gives them the opportunity to ask questions and they won't feel silly for not understanding because you're offering up to make sure they understand. And then you're going to have an awful lot better relationships with your stakeholders because they're going to feel the empathy you're showing for them and they will think that you care about them and you care that they understand things. And then of course the benefit of that, if they understand the finances better and the complex things better, they can make better financial decisions. And at the end of the day, isn't that what finance business partnering is all about? Helping the rest of the business to make better financial decisions. So folks, I would love to know, how do you use empathy in your role as a finance business partner and what little tricks do you find beneficial?